guys? What's up? What's up? We'll give it a minute. We'll let the algorithm tell people that we've gone live. Give it a hot second here. Usually it takes a couple minutes for notifications to fly. And that's okay. 5x5, rock and roll. What's up, ND Prepper? Shalom, shalom. We're just waiting for people to get notifications right now. We usually don't go live on a Friday afternoon or Friday early morning. Brandon, what's up? Chase, what's up? David, what's up? Nebraska, shalom. What's up, party people? Just got on the road. Actually, I think I'm putting the seatbelt on. 5x5, rock and roll. Using a new phone stand, so if it's a little bit shaky, sorry. It didn't have time for all glue to set, so it is what it is. You guys didn't come here for amazing production quality. You guys came here for good content. That's what you came here for. Liberty, 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 liberty. They wouldn't insure me with a 10-foot pole as I'm live streaming, as I'm driving, while also looking at my Google Maps. It's okay. Safety first, guys. I have 6 first aid kits in my truck right now. Safe travels. Hey, thanks, Big Timber. Just got done watching Sister Kate's Elephant Story live. Hey, I'm going to go see Sister Kate right now. And Pastor Joe. Tommy Guptill. What's up? So, I wanted to hop on live. I'm going to go see Pastor Joe right now with Viking Preparedness, Pastor Joe Fox. You guys have probably heard of him. Talking to a couple of people this morning. You guys better get your stuff. Like, no joke. Food, water, shelter, medical. Like, in all seriousness, it's getting really, really weird. Both here nationally, and then internationally, resource-wise. We're seeing some huge hiccups inside of supply chain. Both with international shipping companies being halted at port, and then also with a lack of fuel for shipping nationwide. So there's a lot of places inside that have comms down due to these storms. We're seeing, like, if you don't have your emergency communications plan, whether that's sending out a pigeon, whether that's sending runners, whether that's using RF radios or GMRS radios or whatever have you, you can't depend on a repeater being there. Also, don't depend on that repeater, that law enforcement isn't just gonna like take over that repeater, like emergency communications aren't gonna just take over that repeater, because it's very possible. It's very, very possible. But you guys should be, like, I wouldn't say DEFCON 1, but I wouldn't say DEFCON 5 either. I'd say probably like DEFCON 3 right now. In heightened state of awareness. You should really be making sure that your ducks are good in a row. They're all in the same place, because the stuff that I was looking at this morning at my desk and the people I was talking to, it's a real thing. I was talking to a couple of Canadians yesterday. Canada and listen, I think Canada's been dissolved for a while. I don't think that country is even close to what it once was, but they're getting to the point where they're considering America lost, which kind of like broke a paradigm for me, because they're like, yeah, well, America's already all but lost. I mean, we're just waiting for chaos to break out down there. And I kind of thought in my head, I was like, dang, is that how other countries see us? Or other countries looking at us and viewing us as, yeah, they're all but lost. And so this is kind of like a final call. Like, if you've been waiting on like grabbing extra food or water purification or stuff like that, this weather stuff is really weird, really weird. And so I just urge you to get your lines of preparedness set, because I mean, the quicker that you can start working and living off of your lines of preparedness, the easier it is to transition to an emergency, right? We're not going to magically be really good at like working off of our lines of preparedness. Good morning, Richard. And so I want you guys to have an awesome life. I want you guys to live in peace and have happiness. It's a big deal. We don't live in fear. That's one of the reasons we do what we do at Refuge, is we want to perpetuate normalcy. We want to protect people. Yeah, 6 solar CMEs are inbound. Yeah. So I'm not going to get too much into it here because I don't want to get kicked off. I'm telling you guys, I cannot press this enough. Like, we're going to push really hard to get every order out, to get people taken care of, to get people their stuff. I really think that you guys are going to need your stuff. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. But I kind of feel it. It's in the air, right? It really is. Don't mind the flashbangs on my dashboard. But it's a thing. It really is. I know you've been busy, Bob. I've been researching the food in buckets business idea. I wanted to get your feedback. Yeah, we've researched that about a bajillion times. We really want to do it. We've looked into a bunch of different ways on how to do it. The challenge is USDA health, right? Like the health department and everything like that. It gets a little funny. Just making sure that you have like the right certifications, and then currently right now it's a pipeline thing. It's a really weird pipeline thing, and so just like having enough people to manage that on top of Refuge, on top of all the other stuff that we do, whether it's Grindstone or Bear Independent or supporting Caleb House and the awesome people there. Yeah, shipping and distribution, FDA insurance, right? Yeah, so that's the struggle, right? The second you start going with the FDA, it gets weird, and that's a weird organization as a whole. And so we personally haven't gone that route. We've tried to support companies that have already gone that route, just because we really do think it's important that people have their food in buckets. We really do think it's important that people are building a network of preparedness to be a blessing to others. Like, it's not about saving yourself. I think that's dumb. Personally, I think that's really dumb. Like, those of you who wish to save your life, you will lose it. Those of you who lose your life for my sake, you will have eternal life. All right? That's what Messiah says. And so it all comes back to the reason, right? Like, why are you doing these things? Like, why buy the first aid kit? Why get the training? Why carry a self-defense tool? Why put food in buckets? Is it because, like, oh, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die? No, not really. At least not for me. Not really. For me, it's more so like I want to be a blessing to other people. Yeah, the mainstream media are planning a press conference for the CME event. Yeah, I'm sure. Tommy, I am not on my way to Barnsdall right now. I'm on my way to meet with Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness. We've got some big things to talk about, some really big things to talk about, some planning for refuge training, and then some stuff as it pertains to SHTF. And so I wanted to hop on live here and kind of give you guys a warning, right? Like a temperature check. Like, hey, DEFCON 3, we're not 2, we're not 1, but like eyes up, right? Like weird stuff is going on. The mainstream media does a really bad job of tracking this, but we've had actual kinetic conflict inside of Africa. The U.S. has had kinetic conflict inside of Africa with Wagner Group, with militias. We've lost control of at least one base, one FOB inside of Africa. These are things that are happening. And then we've got Russia poised right now with ICBMs with nuclear capability, basically telling the UK to F around and find out. Really interesting stuff. Strange things are afoot. Yeah, absolutely. Where's the margin in selling rice and bucket? Anyone interested would do it themselves. No. The margin is really in the volume, right? Especially like with wheat. If you buy wheat in volume, it's much more affordable versus like I'm gonna buy a bucket of wheat from such and such. And those companies like Joseph's Kitchen, like that's a great company and they have a really good product. High-end price is a little bit high. Doing stuff like that. What's up, Tactic Squirrel? So, you know, you guys should have your nose to the grindstone right now. I know it's day of prep. Everybody's getting ready for the Sabbath. And I think that's awesome. Personally, we have a bunch of people that are going to go down to Barnsdall on the Sabbath, go pray with people, hang out with people, fellowship, read the Word, see how we can lend a helping hand, and try to just do the good work, right? You know, Messiah got rebuked by the Pharisees for traveling and eating on the Sabbath, and that was Messiah. So I think we should, I don't think the Sabbath is just for like sitting around on the couch. I think the Sabbath is, you know, for learning, for worshiping the Father, for doing good, for resting in Him, and for doing good works. It's right to do good on the Sabbath. Yeah, bushel of wheat is like $4.50 right now. That's 9.3 gallons. Yeah. A lot of farmers co-ops, Hemi. That's what we did last time. I think I got a 60-pound bag for $10. If I remember correctly, I think it was $10 for a 60-pound bag. I can't remember for the life of me. Liberty would probably know. What's up, Aaron? Liberty would definitely know, because she's a walking abacus. She's always got the numbers memorized. Yeah, I personally am thinking about getting a couple more wound care buckets, just having additional gauze on hand, and nice, I was right. I just, after talking to a bunch of different brothers and sisters who are deployed inside these tornadoes, thing seems to be prolonged field care and being able to treat minor injuries, not like gunshot wounds, or anything like that, but really being able to treat, you know, minor injuries for a sustained period of time. Like, is the hospital working? Is even there still? All that stuff. That's something to really think about, because if it's not, Are we just gonna let the wound get infected? Are we just gonna, what's the plan, right? So all that stuff. Like, have you gotten your practice suture kits? Have you been practicing? Do you have? I haven't advocated for people to do that type of stuff. But some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline right now, if it's if there's 30% legitimacy in it, which I think there might be, we're in for a real treat. Yeah, can you set a broken bone? That's a great thing, Red. Can you set a broken bone, splint it, wrap it, cast it, all these things? I mean, this is the stuff that people don't want to talk about. It's not sexy. There's no battle belt. There's no night vision. None of that's sexy, right? Like, it's not cool. Burns and abrasions are so common but underrepresented. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have burn wraps? Do you have the capability to treat people? What about mental buckets for people who have or develop mental health issues? Yeah, absolutely. So we sell a manual, like a whole manual on how to deal with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, social disorders, bipolar issues, multi-personality disorders, all that stuff. It's called the Holy Bible. And you can go ahead and you can get one. We don't even really sell it. We give them away for free. And you can go to grindstoneministries.com. You can request one. I personally have struggled with multiple mental health issues myself. That book and the man who it represents, the man who it is, he's saved me from all that stuff. It's been breathtaking. And so I really recommend that you read that book. I really recommend that everybody dives into that, because it really is the owner's manual for people. Like, how does one people? That's that book. It's all in there. It really is. And it's nothing new too. Like, you see these thousands of years ago, you see stories of people with the same things. They were struggling with anxiety. They were struggling with depression. They were struggling with multi-personality disorder, bipolar disorder, all this stuff, right? And so PTSD, pray to save, duh. And so really, really cool stuff. Yeah, absolutely, Nebraska. Absolutely. It's not always injuries from the event, right? It's not always injuries from the event. It can be injuries after the event. So if there is an event that something bad happens, anything like that, you could have onslaught injuries that take place. And so, it's like, hey, I'm moving the cows and I fell and got, a stick jammed into my leg, or I tripped on a fence and I've got a big, laceration or something like that. That happens. In terms of our medical systems, our emergency systems, all that stuff. We talked a little bit at the beginning of the stream about communications. Don't trust that your repeater is going to work. Don't. We're seeing that right now because of all these tornadoes. Towers are going down. Verizon, AT&T, they're having massive issues inside of all these disaster zones for communications. Internet, right? If you don't have a Starlink or something like that, you're just not getting connectivity. And so we've seen these issues, right? And so what we don't want to happen is for us to depend on some sort of system, whether it's a repeater or whether it's internet or whatever, and it really struggle, right? Thank you for that super chat. Bless you. So Patriot Nurse, yeah, that's an awesome plug right there. So we got to really think a little bit further about our lines of preparedness. Like, it's good that you're a ham radio operator. Make sure you've got other systems in place. And, this is something that I've been thinking about myself, that I've been struggling with. National Weather Service had outages too and couldn't get all the warnings out. Yep. Yeah. Don't think that these systems are going to save you. Be aware. Be really, really aware, because this is these are some tight times. These CMEs aren't going to help. Yeah. I mean, if it really is what they say it is, we're going to see some huge things happen. Some huge things happen. And that's interesting. Now, do we fear? Are we afraid? No. I ain't afraid no ghost. We're not afraid. We don't fear. But we need to be aware. The prudent man seeth evil and hide himself, is what the proverb says. And so be prudent, be wise, be wise as serpents, be innocent as doves. And so we need to really take into account what we're supposed to be doing right now in prayer, in supplication, in fasting, and focus in. I'm afraid of the Holy Ghost only. Yes, amen. There is only one who saves. That's right, Red. In the world, not of the world. Right. And that's why we prepare, right? We prepare to be a blessing to people in bad times. Like, why do we all support Grindstone? Because they go out inside of the worst situations. They're a group of prepared individuals, right? And they're able to affect a positive change inside of really tough situations. So tornado, hurricane, flood, whatever it is, fire, while everybody's running away, they're running too, because they have their lines of preparedness. They know what to do. They've trained all this stuff, right? Pray, prepare, and learn the fine art of not dying at Refuge Medical. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Militant Prepper, because hands and feet, 100%, right? We are called to be the hands and feet. That's what we have to do. As things get ugly and we turn on one another, don't forget to love people. I would argue that we're not supposed to turn on one another. I really would. Like, don't quarrel. An elder inside of the body is not supposed to be a quarrelsome man. We're supposed to love. We're supposed to be a blessing, and it doesn't matter if it's our enemies. It doesn't matter if it's our friends or our brothers or sisters. We're supposed to be a blessing, because how much more so can we then witness to the power that is in Messiah, right? Because he, even though the world hated him, he loved them, right? Screaming out on the stake, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what to do," as they mocked him, right? As they mocked him, they were literally mocking him. They said, "If you're truly the Son of God, why don't you come down off that stake," right? And instead of, hitting them with a boulder from the sky or something crazy, he cried out forgiveness, right? And so that's our mindset. That's really needs to be what we're focusing on. We need to not just prep water people, but we need to prep living water, right? The true living water that is the gospel and testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach, right? The Messiah who came and lived and died for you and me and the world, and was resurrected, right? And ascended to be at the right hand of the throne of the Father, right? So we all have a job here. We all have an obligation. We all have, I would say, a commission, a blessing in order to do these things. And so as we see these days approaching, right? And we can all see these days approaching. Let us not forsake the gathering together, right? Make sure that you're still getting with brothers and sisters, right? We're not hiding in a hole. We're not running away. We're not acting in fear. We're not like, oh, they made it illegal to say this in the New Testament. Who cares? Praise Yah. Like, what are we going to do? Suffer bondage? Suffer, imprisonment? Oh, yeah, that's the first time that's happened, right? We are to go out and to be light in this world right now. Light, right? What's the point of you guys having a light if you put it under a basket, if you hide it in a room, if you put it in a cave? That's not the point. The point is that the darkness cannot exist inside of the presence of the light. And so we are to go out and be light and literally delete darkness, right? And what a blessing, dude. What an awesome thing that is that we get to do. I mean, how cool is that? Like, we have this opportunity. This is the day that the Lord hath made, right? And so as we go out, remember that, live in that, cherish that, because it's awesome, right? And like, that's why I prepare, right? That's why I do these things. It's why I have all this different stuff, right? It's not because I like stuff. Who cares about stuff? It's can I be a blessing and affect a positive, good impact inside of the community that the Father puts me around, right? whether that's, my town, whether that's my mag, whether that's my tribe, whether that's my fellowship, whether that's my county, whatever, right? Remember, the Father has used small people for significant things over and over and over again, right? So don't do what the enemy wants to do with you and discredit yourself, and minimize your impact to yourself, right? Remember that the same spirit that raised Messiah from the dead is the spirit that dwells in you, and through that, he gives you authority and power to go out, right? And so, whether it's in the form of rendering aid in a tornado, or, whether it's the form of picking up trees, or whether it's in the form of going and preaching the gospel, or, going and witnessing to people through your own testimony, all these things, right? You have so many different capabilities, worshiping on the street corner to Messiah, all these things, right? You guys have this opportunity, and it really is just that. We sometimes get in our own head and we think of it as a burden, but this burden is light. This burden is easy. This yoke is easy, right? I mean, we could live in the world and we could be under the world's burden and under the world's yoke, and we could be worried about this, that, and all the third and nonsense, or we could focus on being good. And that's what we try to do with all of our things, all of our businesses, our ministries, all this stuff, is we're trying to be good in this world. We're trying to focus on being the hands and feet, doing the things, and just trying to really, focus on what WWMD, what would Messiah do, right? And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So if you guys aren't paying attention, which it's okay if you're not, because it's so hard to pay attention in these times, right? Open your eyes, open your ears, open your hearts right now, because this is the day that the Lord hath made, right? And I'm not talking like little L Lord, I'm talking like Lord of Lords, King of Kings Lord. This is the day that he hath made, and yes, all this crazy stuff is going down. Yes, we've got wars and rumors of wars, right? We have earthquakes in various places. We have tornadoes and natural disasters. We've got floods. The Euphrates River is drying up. Like, all these things are happening, right? And if you have eyes, you'll see, right? But don't take your light and put it under a basket. Take your light and go shine it, right? In whatever way works for you. For Refuge, we personally take that light and we try to give people the ability to save lives, to stop death, to witness the gospel through this weird thing called first aid, right? And it's a very interesting thing. It's unique for sure, and it's peculiar. But the Father calls a peculiar people. He doesn't call, bland or boring people. Like, I've not read any of these stories in the book where it was just like a bland or boring thing. He calls very, very peculiar people, and so it's a thing. Hemi, we should probably give you a wrench. I can't really do that while I'm driving. But I don't know if Liberty's still here. Liberty, if you're still here, you should probably give Hemi a wrench. Hemi's a good mod. At least he's a good mod on my channel. Maybe he'll be a bad mod here. I don't know. But so let's I don't like you. Okay, that's great. I'm not here to be liked, bro. I'm here to speak truth and talk to Refuge Nation, because I love y'all. I really do. And even though you don't like me, I love you. I really do. I have a ton of love for you. I hope that you have peace and everlasting peace and perfect peace, right? Shalom, shalom, peace that surpasses all understanding, because that's the whole point, right? We sell first aid kits, guys, but this isn't about first aid kits. This is about the true healing that comes from the knowledge and truth of the Messiah, right? People call him Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, Yehoshua, however you want to say it. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, right? And so we focus on that. And you know, the first aid kits, that's just a vehicle for us. It's a way for us to affect good in a very broken world. This world is very sick, it's very broken, so we try to you know, give people the opportunity and the capability to do good, whether that's put a tourniquet on, apply a chest seal, whether it's to dress a laceration, whether it's to help a kid who's scared, whatever it is. We try to give people that capability, so that way a positive effect, a positive light is shining, right? Because who cares about all this darkness? Like, what are we just gonna multiply the darkness and start turning lights off? No, that's nonsense, right? We want to be a force multiplier for good in this world, right? And I'm talking about actual good, like, you know, the goodness of good. And so that's what we really have to focus on. I have the power. Wield it wisely, Hemi. I have to constantly remind myself to be patient and exercise some restraint. It doesn't come naturally to me. It doesn't come naturally to anybody. We're all men and women made of flesh, right? And I think that's why the scripture is so interesting to me. Feel your anger, let it not cause you to sin, right? It's not, hey, don't ever have anger. The second you have anger, you sin. No. Feel your anger, let it not cause you to sin. Like, search the reason as to why you're actually angry, right? What about this is bothering you? Is it ego? Is it hubris? Is it pride? Is it shame? Is it you know, is it insecurities? What is making you angry about this, right? What in myself is broken, right, that I should give to the Most High, right? So that way I can love this person, right? And because if you don't feel your anger, you'll never feel righteous anger, because there is such a thing as righteous anger. Like, let's not get this twisted. You know, you read the Psalms, oh Father, do I not hate what you hate? I hate it with a perfect hatred. You know, search me and know my heart, Lord, and see if there's any iniquity in me, right? Crying out basically like, hey, search me, know me, try me, right? So that way I know that this is you, or I know that this is me, right? Because if it's me, I don't want that. I don't want selfish anger. I don't want pride. We all have to constantly be searching, right? And so it's a challenge, guys. And guys, by the way, you're not going to do it perfectly. How many times does a righteous man stumble in one day? 7 times. 7 times the righteous man will fall, right? How many times do you have to forgive a brother? 70 times 7, right? That's not literally 490 times, but it's Messiah teaching us like, hey, you're going to have to forgive your brother because your brother's going to mess up. And your brother's going to stumble, and you're going to keep forgiving him because I forgave you, right? And so don't let our pride and our arrogance get in the way of that, right? And patience is an interesting thing, because patience doesn't always equal silence, and it doesn't always mean action. Sometimes patience just equals observation. And so really taking a moment and looking and observing, you know, do a gospel sills. So like stop, look, listen, smell, all these things. Like take a second and be like, hey, what do we got going on here? Stop, look, observe, right? Okay, observe what we got. Listen, right? What are we saying, or what are we singing, or what are we preaching? Like, what's going on? And then smell, right? Or is this smell fishy, right? Like, is there something that's changed here? You know, and so just think about that for a second, right? I'm constantly relearning that real power, isn't in the talking, but in the giving of life. Walking in this is a challenge for me. Yeah, just you. It's just you that's a challenge. Nobody else is challenged by this. Guys, there's a reason that the path is narrow, right? Like, broad are the gates to hell, right? Narrow is the path to life. And so understand that we are at enmity with this world, right? We are at odds with this world. And so if everything was easy and everything was comfortable and you were having a great time all the time, one would have to ask, what God are you serving? Are you serving the God of the universe? Or are you serving yourself as God? Or are you serving another deity, right? Because the God of the universe, the true God, the Yod-He, Vod-He, the master and creator of all, he wants us to die to self. He wants us to put ourselves last. He wants us to serve others first, right? And to love others. You know, those of you who wish to save your life, you'll lose it, right? And so think about that. And you know, it's okay to make mistakes. And there's power in making mistakes, because once you make a mistake, you can make amends, and you can ask for forgiveness, which that humility right there is a witness to people. Hey man, I was really impatient with you, and I was a jagbag to you, and I'm really sorry for that. I hope you can forgive me, but that was wrong, and that's not how Messiah would have me act towards you. Whoa, what a witness, right? What a witness. Even if they're a non-believer, can that call them to belief, right? Because so many times in the church we don't see that, and that's not necessarily. Don't be weak. Don't be a weak man. And all they do is, I'm sorry. No, apologize when you make a mistake, right? Don't apologize for doing the right thing. Don't apologize for being strong in the might, right? I mean, be bold. Bold as lions. Bold as lions, right? And the wicked will flee, right? Understand that. I can't read that. It seems like a cool comment, though. I've got love for you, Dakota. I'm just also driving through the mountains right now, and so I got to pay attention. Otherwise, you guys are going to watch me have to render aid live. And we don't want that. Blessings to you, John. Blessings to everyone from Arkansas. Sorry, please hear me out right now. I need your help. I'm serious. Whatever you need, bro. You got a big group of Refuge Nation people right here. You got 50 people here that could be in prayer for you, that would walk with you. So think about that, right? John Dalton, where are you at in Arkansas? It was a big bump as I was trying to drink some coffee. Hope, Arkansas. I wonder if I have any buddies in Hope, Arkansas. I can't check my phone right now because I is driving, but I have a lot of friends. Yeah, we don't usually send cash apps and Venmos to the people on the live stream. That's a dangerous thing. Mike, I'm glad you had a great time, bro. I really am. That's a blessing. Be wise, guys. Don't, unless the Spirit's leading you to, be wise. That's a good word, kitten. Yeah, so driving right now up to see the old PJF, the man, the myth, the legend, that steely-eyed Green Beret, and learn from him, garner wisdom from him, discuss refuge training and how to be a better blessing to people, what trainings we could do to better build up Refuge Nation, Bear Nation, the Viking Network, all that stuff. So we're going to go try to talk to him about that, and then we're also going to talk about some of the metrics that we've got right now for SHTF and kind of what it's looking like. Like, hey, what do you think? I'm going to just garner some wisdom from him, because, man, what an interesting time that we're living in here. I will, Striker. I will. And yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is like, we should all make sure that we're prepared. And I would argue that all you guys are probably pretty prepared for the most part. And so at this point, you're really preparing for other people. In which case, like, who are you preparing for and how are you preparing for them? You know, nobody cares if you have an extra rifle. It's a good idea, but it's much more, do you have extra food? Do you have extra medical supplies? Do you have extra water filtration and water purification? Do you have, you know, extra clothes? All these things, that really, really matters. So, you know, think about that and what you're doing, because we are to be a blessing to others. Like, in all seriousness, we are to help other people. And so, if you guys don't have line 2 and 3 of your preparedness for others, now's the time, because these supply chains are gonna get weird. They're already weird. Liberty can attest to how weird they already are. I think we've got like 6 different distributors that we use for gauze, because any 2 of them could be out on any given day. Medline's been pretty good as of late, but even still, I mean, it's come to the point where like, oh, we're gonna get it off of Amazon because they have it. And that's a weird thing as a business that's our size. Like, hey, no one else has it except for this one distributor that's on Amazon only. That's weird, but we'll go ahead and we'll pay more, right? And we'll take a hit on our profit margin so that you guys get the gear you need, right? Which is the whole point of this thing, right? I was having a conversation with my wife yesterday about what is the mission? What's the goal? What are we doing? What's the purpose, right? To save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom, right? Everything we do, every single thing we do should be pushing towards that mission, right? To save lives, to save lives, to save lives, to save lives. It doesn't matter if, you know, you're like my wife and you're doing emails and graphics, to save lives, right? It doesn't matter if you're Brit and you're organizing the builds and you're doing orders or whatever it may be, to save lives. It doesn't matter if you're me and you're trying to do people culture and people management, strategic relationships and all that stuff, to save lives, right? All these things should be driving towards the mission statement of saving lives while in service to the Father's kingdom, right? Because if we do that, we will be blessed, right? We'll be blessed with exactly what we need, when we need it, how we need it, right? That's the point. That's the purpose, right? And so, you know, we have the opportunity, all of us, to do that, right? You guys are all members of Refuge Nation. You're all driving towards the mission, by the way. It's your mission statement too. It's not just for us. It's not just, oh, you have to be a W-2 employee of Refuge to partake in the mission. No, that's stupid. All right? So we, all of us, Refuge Nation, and I'm a part of Refuge Nation, right? We all are driving towards the mission statement to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom. That's the whole point of what we're doing here, right? And through that, we've seen an abundance of provision and blessing, right? Come in a myriad of different ways, right? It's looked so different. We've had so many people render aid that have been blessed because of it. They've been blessed emotionally, they've been blessed spiritually, they've been blessed physically, just because of obedience and service, right? We are to be the hands and feet, people. And that means action, do, right? The first letter of his name is action. It is to do, right? The Yod. And so we have that you know, privilege. I really think it's a privilege that we get to do this, because, you know, like we were reading the other day in 1 Peter, we are a chosen race, a chosen people, right? We were once not a chosen people, right? Though we have compassion, we once did not have compassion. We have this thing now. We have this. We've been put into this family. We've been given this blessing. And so why wouldn't we go out and use it? Why not? right? It makes no sense. Freely it has been given, so freely go give, right? And that's the whole point of this. That's the secret sauce that keeps them coming back, right? Is the fact that we have this all together, right? And what a cool thing that we all get to be a part of, right? You get to be a part of it. I get to be a part of it. I didn't think I was going to get to be a part of it, but I am, right? Man, that's awesome. You know, and I'm sure you guys didn't think like you're going to get to be a part of it, but you are, right? And that's a huge thing, right? And every day it looks different. Every single day it looks different. You know, some days it's, you know, trying to solve this problem, or, you know, trying to get this gear, or trying to, you know, talk this person into getting a first aid kit because they're going to need it. Or, you know, sometimes it's just like, man, I'm going to go give this person a first aid kit. It doesn't make sense financially, but I'm going to do it, right? And we all are a part of this together, right? And you don't just have to like get a pay stub from Refuge to be a part of this. And we could not do it without you guys. Seriously. We really, really couldn't. You guys evangelize for us. You go out and you tell people about us. You know, you explain, you teach. I'm not gonna say which Refuge Nation member, but I had a Refuge Nation member pitch me on a program where basically we train the trainer, and then they go out and then they do like mini responders and like refuge meetups every month in different locations throughout the country. That's just a Refuge Nation member. And like, dude, that's freaking incredible. Like, that's freaking incredible that we would have somebody that like cares that much, is that passionate about this. And like, what an opportunity to get individuals together to witness, to teach, to preach, right? I'm still looking into that. I got to figure out, like, you know, I got to be wise, right? Because if I have people that are acting outside of my insurance under the banner of Refuge, and somebody gets hurt by a tourniquet, or somebody gets hurt in this training, it could blow back on the organization. And so that's one of my jobs. I gotta think about that, right? I gotta make those decisions, and that's okay. Yeah, potential liability issues. So that's my only concern there. If they were doing Refuge Nation meetups, though, it would be so cool, because Viking Preparedness does the Viking meetups, and that's awesome. All across the country, they have Viking meetups where, you know, boys and girls get together and hang out and learn and grow and, you know, fellowship, and that's so cool to me. And so we'll keep looking at the logistics of that and kind of what it means to do that. I don't know, but it is something I've been thinking about. But right now my eyes are kind of on some training opportunities and some event opportunities to get more people together, right? Would you guys, like, show of hands in the chat, would you guys be interested in like a multi-day event, like a multi-day training and like conference type of event? Would you be, what are the thoughts on that? I just kind of want to gauge you guys. We talked a little bit about it in class. Dakota said yes. You know, where you could come together, you could do maybe like a big scenario, like a big scenario, like maybe multi-day scenario or something like that. 10 out of 10. Let's do it. Yes. You know it. Yeah, so I don't know what it looks like yet. That's one of the discussions I'm about to go have. And so, you know, it's just it's a lot of logistics, right? And I don't want Liberty to punch me in the head. Shut up and take my money. Any ideas for a multi-casualty scenario? We have a mass cas scenario that happens inside of Essential Responder. There's a mass cas, and it's super interesting. So yeah, we're looking at it right now. I kind of want it to be like maybe a 24-hour scenario, right? Like, can you do it, be in it, and like work problems for 24 hours with a team, right? Like maybe you bring your own gear, you bring your own stuff, you have cadre that is with you, you have oppositional forces maybe, and then you have like different tasks that you have to do, right? And so I was thinking that would be probably pretty cool. And then with that, you get to, you know, do the team building, problem solve with people you don't know, and maybe people you do know. Like if you have like 4 friends and you guys all want to be on a team, like, okay, like your 4 friends can get on the same team. Like, cool, good to go. Want you guys to work together to problem solve, right? If it's like you and your wife, like you and your wife are going to be on a team together, you know? But we're still analyzing kind of what that would look like, because man, that'd be a lot of logistics, and it'd have to be a big playing space. Like the playing board is kind of, I kind of think of all of our trainings as a board game. Like I never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I bet I would really like Dungeons and Dragons because of how I treat training. And so I like think of it like that. Like basically, like I think of it as like me being the dungeon master, everybody's on the playing board, and so it'd have to be a pretty big board because I'd want like probably 2, 3, maybe 2 to 4 teams, right? Of like, and larger teams, like anywhere from 10 to 20 people, right? And then like each team would probably get a guardian angel, the same way if any of you guys have done essential responder, you have a guardian angel with you the whole time. It's like teaching you, training you, making sure you don't die, doing things the right way, like in scenario, in moment teaching, all that stuff. And so it'd almost be like a civilian Robin Sage event. Yeah, exactly, Striker Cade, exactly. But for civilians, right? Because like civilians don't get that. And then the last day, right? So like first day would be spin up. Like that was my idea. So first day, spin up, teaching, like understanding what the TLOs are, terminal learning objectives, and what you're looking to get out of it. And then you have the next 24 hours being the op itself, right? And then the last set of hours, whatever that is, after people get to rest and everything, we have like maybe like a convention, like speakers, vendors, hangout, large scale AAR, you know, teaching and talking points from the professionals there, and then maybe like you know, an award ceremony or something. I don't know. I'm still working it out in my head. But this is kind of like where I'm at right now. I've got a couple of possible locations for it. One of them's huge. It's literally a whole mountain. And that's the thing too, is there is like a physicality aspect to it, but there's a physicality aspect to SHTF, right? Like in SHTF, you got to do it. So yeah, we're Refuge Medical. We do the medical stuff online. We're talking about classes right now. So a full 3-day, you get a 24-hour training exercise. Like maybe a Casevac in there, right? Because nothing says good time like I'm gonna carry somebody down the side of a mountain, and it'd just be like paradigm shattering, right? Over and over and over again of like, this is what you got to do, this is what you can't do, all that stuff. I think it would be fruitful, personally. I think it would be definitely fruitful. I think people would get a lot out of it. It'd be a lot of logistics, though. A lot of logistics. I want to make sure I don't miss my turns here. I think I already missed one. It's okay. It only added a couple minutes. Yeah, we talked about calling it the Crucible. We're not going to call it that. We have a name. It's fire. It's super fire. And I actually even have some of the scenarios made up. I don't know. I can't give too much away right now because we haven't greenlit it yet. And I'm really just like kind of market testing to see if there's interest. What do you guys think would be a good price tag? You got 3 days there. What do you think would be a good price tag? And just like in the chat, like affordability, practicality, what do you think would be a good price tag? Because I have a couple numbers in my head. So we said 1,500. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think, because 1,200. Because I've seen 1,000. Yeah, I'm curious to see kind of like what a good price tag in your guys' brain would be. $1K to 15, 1,200. Okay. Roger that. Seems fair. Next Refuge giveaway, 1 free spot. Yeah, we talked about that. And then we also talked about having the ability to sponsor. Like if you're not physically capable of doing it, like you're like, man, I can't do an overnight at like scenario and all that stuff. Like, but I really want my, you know, son or whatever to do it, then you can do it. Awesome, Casey. Awesome. Yeah, check out the full channel. I mean, we do lives pretty often, but we've got a ton of resources here for like training and information, product reviews, stuff like that. Like we really like try to dive into gear for you, so that way you don't have to spend your money on stuff that might not be the best. Stuff we recommend just from like being in the industry and getting to look at a lot of gear and a lot of stuff. So different components, different med gear, med bags, stuff like that. Youth pricing, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, I don't know how much youth pricing there's going to be. I don't know how much youth there's going to be. I don't like the idea of giving a 15-year-old like a rifle with a BFA, you know, and sending him out into the woods. I don't much enjoy that. No, Palmetto, I'm going to go see Pastor Joe. I had to go talk to him about the good news of refuge training. It's like the opposite of refuge summer camp. I did Responder 123 a year ago in Waco. The best thing I have ever done. That is awesome. Yeah. I don't know if I was there for that or not, but I hope I was. I will, Kermode. Love R3. Love R3. It's an awesome course. We're actually trying to get one on the schedule right now. The Essential Responder takes very, very specific cadre. It's a lot of scenarios. It's constant monitoring of students. It's very physical. And so it's a whole deal, you know. And this thing that we're talking about right now is very similar to that, in the sense of like crawl, walk, run. First day is going to be very easy, and then we launch them, you know, and I'm going to try to make it so that way like most of it happens during that. I guess it'd be like even split, you know. I don't know, it depends, like the 24-hour period, like do you want more daylight or more sunlight or more night light, right? Like and so we're trying to figure it out right now. It seems like everybody's kind of like in the $1,000 to $1,500 range. Striker Kate, kind of a combination of the two. Like, we're going to do some teaching, but there's no way that we'll be able to teach everything that'd be necessary for a successful op inside this. Like, you'd need months of spin up. And so there'll be a lot of like exposed weaknesses, but it'll also be like, dude, bring all your toys. You want to bring your drone? Bring your drone. You want to bring your radios? Bring your radios. You want to bring your NVGs? Bring your NVGs, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at, Alex, is from dusk to dusk. And then you get like, you know, hey, can you guys make camp? You know, can you build a fire? Can you like do all this stuff? You know, and then, you know, can you have a fire watch? You know, and then like we'll have oppositional forces out. And so it's like, it's a great job building a fire. The Op 4's night vision picked up the fire from 2 clicks away, because you guys didn't, you know, properly mask it. And at 2 in the morning, you guys fell asleep. And so now all of a sudden an RD sim's going off and you guys are reacting to contact to try to break contact, you know? I think that'd be really cool, you know? And it's like, you're on the road and you come across people, like, are they friendlies? Are you just gonna shoot them? Or like, what are you doing? You know, how are you deconflicting, right? Because that's a huge thing. All this stuff is what we're looking at right now. You know, besides the simple fact of like, can you live out of your rucksack for 24 hours on the X? Do you have what you need, right? Do you have does every team have a medic? Does every team have a team leader? You know, all these different things, like, you know, and are you going to do a team leader and 2 squad leader? Like, how are you going to break it up? All that stuff, right? Real world SHTF, can you hack it? Yeah, I want to get it done before November. My goal is, like, this is like, hey, come test your stuff before November hits, right? But it'll be pretty cool. And I'll probably make minimum age 17, like, just out of safety. I'm sure that 16-year-old, like, I'm sure there are some 16-year-olds that could do it, but that doesn't mean that all 16-year-olds could do it. So, yeah. Food for thought on that. Yeah, so there will be a packing list, 100%. That's something that the Bear Man and I were talking about, is there has to be a packing list. Because you can't come on that X and not have a med kit, or a way to start fire, or a way to purify water, or anything like that. Like, I mean, you gotta be smart here, and so we gotta do a packing list. That's a big deal. And we gotta make sure that people have what they need. Now, the robustness of the packing list, I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. So, because I also don't want it to be unobtainable. Ooh, 2x4 on the road. Spicy. So we'll kind of figure that out. But I think 1,000 to 1,500 is probably realistic. That's kind of what we're looking at. That's the same price as an essential responder. I think an essential responder is going for maybe $1,400 now. So that's not unobtainium, right? Yeah, Kermode, we did talk about that. Yeah, smack them down, Hemi. Do that good work. Do that good work. Yeah, I think the waiver, I think you can sign a waiver at 17 in Oklahoma. But if they're from a different state, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it'd have to be like an ironclad waiver too. I'd put like real-time tracking on everybody in the scenario, so that way we would have like a fully functional talk. that could like see where everybody is at all times. There's, like I said, there's some logistics that are involved. You put people in a 24-hour scenario, somebody's gonna act weird. It's just a fact. Somebody's gonna act weird. But it could turn out to be like an annual event, which I think would be cool. I think it'd be really cool. Similar to that of like the Ruckus, but this one would be a little bit more training focused. That's right, dude. Dr. Trevor Wilkins is in the house. How do you not have a blue wrench? Somebody blue wrench that guy. AVT is he's the weird one. Yeah, the 24-hour scenario, somebody's gonna get stressed out at 3 a.m. and freak out. It'll just be, there's no way around that, which is fine. That's why we'll have guardian angels. That's why we'll have good cadre. But I think one of the terminal learning objectives for the event will be, can your team finish? Like, can your team just finish? Like, don't win, just finish, right? That's a big thing for me, is can you get everybody across the finish line? Can you not? I don't know what that was. That was weird. I'm unable to blue wrench AVT. That's all right. Liberty will get it. That was weird. Yeah, YouTube like crashed. You'll have that. Sometimes that's the test, pass or fail. Yeah, that's my goal, is like, can I get people to think in a team mindset? A lot of people, they fantasize and like romanticize SHTF and, bad things happening. They build it up in their head. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But it like very likely could get people killed or hurt. And so how do we subserviate that and really be like men first, then mission always, right? So understanding that like there's no pipeline, there's no resupply of humans. That's right. Maybe we should make Bandhammer t-shirts for our mods. That's what we should do. That I'd get a kick out of that. I know a lot of them would. We should. So yeah, be on the lookout for more information on that training. I'm gonna hammer some stuff out today with Pastor Joe and get his opinion on it. I think it'd be really fruitful. I'm looking at Labor Day, which is the first week of September. That's kind of what I got my eyes on for a date on it. And if we don't do that in September, we'll probably do an ER, one of the two. I think it'd be a super, super cool training opportunity. At the very least, you get to come test your bug out gear, your whatever gear, and I very much want people to like bring their own rifle. Don't bring any ammunition. You'll get blanks supplied to you, but like bring your own rifle, bring your own gear, all that stuff. And, we will test it. Like you're going to see how your rifle performs after carrying it for 10 hours, after carrying it for 15 hours. How do you perform, Keep that same energy about every attachment that you wanted to put on your rifle, Are you really sure that you wanted, that foregrip here, or, that optic like this, that war belt that you built out and you've only worn for 15 minutes at a time in the range. Keep that same energy, Do you really want it there? Is that really how you want this thing to go? Because man, as some of the people in here will tell you, it's different when you actually run it. Would I recommend an LVPO or an EOTech? It depends on what I'm doing. I have both. The rifle I have in the car right now, it's not an EOTech, it's a LP1, which is really, really similar to the EOTech. It just got better battery life. That I have in the car right now. If I was doing something like that, I'd bring an LPVO. Because I want PID and magnification for it. That would be what I would do. But when I'm like going around places, like I'm in and out of a lot of buildings, I'm in closer quarters, probably within 100, maybe 150 meters, I'll have my EOTech on. And you can't plan for everything, right? But yeah. If you're like, I built a Fight Light upper belt fed machine gun that I'm going to use in SHTF, bring it. Bring it. We'll link up blanks. Come on. Keep that same energy, Are you towing the industrial wood chipper behind you? I'm not. Not today. Not today. Not today. Although, some of the people in this chat, I wonder if I should be. That's an unchecked list on my box of wants. Yeah, it's low on the list for me personally. It'd be awesome to have a belt fed someday, but I just really don't need that. I really don't. I just really don't need that. I'm more worried about getting more wound care buckets, baby birthing buckets, surgical buckets, and putting up food. That's what I'm more worried about. Because man, that's more important. It really is. It's just more important. Being able to treat people inside of an emergency situation. I can't tell you how many people were wounded in these natural disasters that we've seen, the reports that we've had coming in. You just don't have enough stuff. You don't have enough stuff for one event. So, let alone, multiple. It just is what it is. Do you really think streaming and driving is safe? You should see what patrol cops do while they drive. You would be amazed at how many screens we look at. You'd be shocked. Usually at least 2, and then your radar, and then you're also working your radio. But what do I know? I'm just Bob. Would spend that money on training? Yeah. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a really cool experience. Wrecked units at auction. Yeah. Yep. You see it in a lot of other wrecked units that aren't patrol cars, bro. Take a break. It'll be okay. I promise. If I get into a situation that's unsafe, I promise I'm not going to look at that thing. Alright? You're alright. It's okay. Take a breath. I believe in you, Trevin. You're a beautiful soul. And I know you care about me. and I appreciate your care. I'm not going to do anything that's unsafe to me. Mainly because a lot of people depend on me, and I love them, right? I'm not going to risk that for a stream. Look, a tank. Sick. Nice tank. Bob, we need you. You got me, bro. I'm streaming right now. Oh, good grief. Yeah, so I wanted to hop on and tell you guys things are getting spicy. Talk to you a little bit about the training opportunity that's going to be coming up. And, you know, just touch base, tell you, like, hey, supply chain is going to get really, really weird really, really soon. You know, just get your house in order. What was your best thought of the day? My best thought of the day? I don't know. Trying to keep all thoughts captive to Christ. So I would say thinking about 1 Peter, how we are now a chosen race, a chosen nation. We once were not that, but now we are. We once did not have compassion, but now we have compassion. So that's kind of been, you know, the best thing I've thought about thus far today, you know. That's the whole goal there. That's the whole goal there. What state are you in? Oklahoma is where we're based out of. Based out of the old Oklahomas. It's a good state. Oh, that's good coffee. Black water and not the PMC. Gotta make sure I'm going the right way. I think I keep missing turns. Or it's just traffic. Something is slowing me down. Yeah, be ready for the solar flares and solar event and all that craziness. We'll be okay. I promise. We will be okay. A-okay, one could argue. Luke. Come on, bro. You're better than that. That's dark. Yeah, I can't really read the long comments, guys. It takes my eyes off the road too much. But I'm sure whatever you say is dope, Striker. I love you. And you should not move to Alaska, and you should move to Oklahoma and come do hood rat stuff with your friends. Dude, come work at Refuge Training. Come train nerds with me. And I mean nerds in a loving way. I'm a nerd. There's somebody in the chat's gonna be like, he called everybody nerds. Okay, calm down. I call my family nerds. So it's an expression of love. People, the vocab police, they've been out recently. It's a free country, brother. I carry my AR. Oh yeah, well you're a nerd. You can't say that. Oh, I thought it was a free country. What happened? Proud nerd. I want to be a nerd. Me too. I'd like to be more nerdy. You know, I used to make fun of nerds, and now I'm like, dang it, these guys are so smart. I'm so dumb. No, I'm not dumb. I'm not as intelligent as I want to be. You gotta shift your perspective. Careful what you call yourself. Power of life and death in the tongue. can't be out there putting curses on yourself. Come on, you could have hit that squirrel. It would have been fine. The person's like, no, there's a squirrel on the road. Yeah, well, there's a 2-ton pickup truck behind you, so let's use the old noggin here. Squirrel, truck, you decide. Talk nerdy to me. Yeah, I got a couple more minutes, guys, and I'm gonna hop off here. Thanks for talking to me as I drive. While it is a beautiful drive to where I'm going today, it is nice to talk with y'all. I want to touch base. I do, because I love you and I care about you, and I don't want you to be like surprised when stuff goes out of stock at Refuge. I want you to be ready for it. I want you to have already placed your order and gotten your stuff. Like, seriously, think about it. I don't know how much more we got. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, so make sure today as you go out, it's prep day, so today as you go out, make sure you're getting your house in order for the day of rest, and then you're also being a light. Prepare your hearts. Tell other people to prepare, right? Prepare either way, for the kingdom of heaven's at hand. And man, what a cool thing, right? It really is. It really is a cool thing to be able to be a part of the body of the Messiah. Like, dude, you kidding me? We get to do this. This is literally our reality. What a blessing. Die to yourself. Love the Lord thy God with thy whole body, whole heart, and whole mind. Love thy neighbor as thyself. If you hate yourself, if you despise yourself, if you're not appreciating the fact that you're a beautiful creation who's been fearfully and wonderfully made, how are you able to love your neighbor? Right? You have to appreciate the Father's creation, and that is you, right? You have to appreciate the Father's creation. You don't worship self, right? But appreciate his creation so that way you can appreciate his other creations. Otherwise, we're working from a weird standard that's not going to make much sense. And we can't do that. We can't do that. Logos. We got to use truth here. We got to use logic, knowledge, truth, and real truth. Like, come on. We got to commit ourselves to him. Because Lord knows he committed himself to us, right? He really did. Amen. Amen, cowgirl. I think you're the big toe. Yeah, well, walk without a big toe and see how easy that is. So, don't diminish yourself. Don't diminish yourself. How beautiful are the feet of those who prepare the gospel, right? Right? Beautiful feet. Like, come on. Don't diminish that. If you're the big toe, you were specifically referenced. Which is no small thing, by the way. Which is no small thing. We all have a path and a part in this. Big toes are very important. See? Look at everybody appreciating their big toes right now. Oh, good grief. So yeah, I turn here. Make sure as just be light, guys. Just gotta be light. That's the main thing. Gotta be light. I'm gonna hop on. Players are coming on the field. It's about to be game time, so pay attention. I love y'all. Shalom, shalom.